This is the 7Artisans 85mm f1.8 full-frame autofocus lens for Sony cameras, and it retails for around £240 on Amazon, making it one of the most affordable 85mm lenses that you can buy. If you're looking for a video with graphs and brick walls, this isn't the video for you, but if you're looking to see real-world tests of the lens, then hopefully you'll find this video useful. Quick disclaimer, 7Artisans did send me this lens to review, but they've not paid me and they've not asked me to say anything specific about the lens at all. All the opinions in this video are my own. And before we get into it, quick shout out to the channel sponsor, DxO.com. If you're serious about getting the most out of your photos, you should check out DxO Photolab 9. It's packed with powerful features like industry-leading noise reduction, precise color control, and new masking tools for quick, refined adjustments exactly where you need them. And unlike other software, there's no subscription required. You own this outright. Head over to their website and use the code JACK15 to get 15% off. So straight out of the box, when you get this lens in your hands, you're going to be impressed. It feels incredibly well made for that £240 price point. The lens is made entirely of metal and weighs 437.5 grams. The only real downside of this lens, and some of the other 7Artisan lenses as well, is that they're not weather sealed. So if you're someone that shoots a lot in the rain or in sandy environments, for example, having weather sealing is super important, and unfortunately you don't get that with this lens. The manual focus ring on the lens feels great. It's nice and thick, as you can see, and it has just the right amount of resistance. This is focused by wire though, so it's electronic and it isn't linear like older lenses, so manual focusing can be a little bit inconsistent, but generally it feels pretty good. We do have a 62mm filter mount, a metal E-mount, and like the 50mm I reviewed previously, you get a USB port as well for firmware updates. You also get a physical autofocus manual focus switch, which is something you don't see on a lot of cheaper lenses, and unlike the 50mm, which felt like it was going to fall out of place any minute, the 85mm has been massively improved, so I'm glad 7Artisans listened to the complaints from people about the 50mm and actually improved on it for this lens. The lens does feature a declicked aperture ring, which is aimed more towards videographers, but my issue is that the aperture shifts in this lens are quite loud. Like, you can hear this sort of fluttering noise when adjusting the aperture. Compared to my 20mm f1.8 that I'm filming with right now, when you adjust the aperture ring on here, no issues at all whatsoever. The aperture doesn't make a noise, it's completely silent, whereas this 7Artisan lens is pretty loud. This doesn't affect any of the photos or videos produced with this lens, but it is worth pointing out. So let's talk about the image quality, because on a lens of this price point, usually you'd expect some pros, some cons, and usually more cons. But this lens honestly has blown me away. The results are fantastic. So I went out and tested this lens with my friend Jess, and as you can see from the results, this lens produced really beautiful images. Subject separation is excellent, and the colors are rich and clean straight out of the camera. I found the autofocus to be quick, reliable, concise, and I had no issues locking onto eyes or using the tracking features. I also forgot to mention, for some reason, how good the overall sharpness is on this lens. This is a crop of Jess's eye, and as you can see, it's incredibly crisp and sharp for a lens of this price. And for other subjects, the performance was just as good with this lens. As you can see from these photos of some cows, the lens produces incredibly sharp results. I do think this punches way above its weight in terms of price to performance ratio, and 7Artisans have produced a really great lens here. If you're interested in this lens for video, the performance is just as good here as well. As you can see from this test, autofocus is fast, sticky, and reliable, and it tracked me smoothly even when I was running back and forth to the camera and moving in and out of frame. I would not hesitate to use this lens on a professional shoot, especially if you want that 85mm compression. As you can see from all of these test videos, the background blur and separation is absolutely stunning and looks great. Something to bear in mind though with 85mm lenses is that you do need a lot of space, so if you're planning to use this indoors, make sure you have enough length between you and the subject, because you will need to be quite far back, but if you're using this outdoors, then this won't be an issue at all. So I think that this lens is a bit of a hidden gem. For £240, I think you'd struggle to find a lens of this kind of quality for that price point, but 7Artisans managed to do it. The biggest issue for me is the lack of weather resistance, because I tend to use my lenses out and about whenever I want, and don't want to have to worry that they're going to get affected by rain, or that sand's going to get into my camera sensor, or anything like that. So weather sealing for me is a big thing, but if you're planning to use this indoors where you can control the environment, then I don't really see that being much of an issue. So if you're a photographer or videographer looking to add an 85mm to your lens collection, I can fully recommend the 7Artisans 85mm. Its performance to price ratio is just, well, It makes it hard to not recommend. All the photos you've seen throughout this video were edited in DxO Photolab. If you're interested in getting that, check out the link in the description and use my coupon code JACK15 for 15% off a lifetime license. No more subscriptions. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, it really helps out my channel. And if you have any comments or questions about the product, leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you want to see more from me, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon and you'll get a little notification whenever I upload another video. If you fancy sticking around and watching more of my videos, there's a couple on the screen now, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.